In the top stories, a new bill introduced in the National Assembly is seeking to modernize how DNA evidence is collected and used in criminal cases. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister has clashed with the Director of Public Prosecutions over his accountability to the public, and on the international scene, the United Kingdom is offering a meningitis B vaccine to around 1 million young people following the country's largest outbreak of the disease. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Friday, the 12th of June, and I am Jasmine Thomas. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Garth Wilkin introduced the Evidence Amendment Bill 2026 at Thursday's sitting of the National Assembly. The bill modernizes the legal framework governing DNA evidence while strengthening safeguards to protect fairness, privacy, and due process. Wilkin described the legislation as a balanced and necessary response to advancements in forensic science and modern criminal investigations. The amendments update provisions of the Evidence Act relating to DNA evidence, recognizing modern scientific and statistical methods, including software-assisted DNA analysis used in complex investigations. Among its key provisions, the bill allows courts to authorize DNA sampling in appropriate serious cases, requires expert evidence, mandates disclosure, limits the use of DNA material, and provides protections for privacy, dignity, health, and fairness. The legislation seeks to expand the use of modern DNA evidence in criminal proceedings while establishing clearer rules for its collection, analysis, and admissibility. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew says the severe drought affecting St. Christopher and Nevis underscores the need for urgent climate action and long-term investment in water security. Addressing the National Assembly on Thursday, Dr. Drew described the drought as one of the most serious in recent history, linking it to the effects of El Niño and broader climate change. Rising temperatures, changing rainfalls patterns, and increasingly unpredictable weather events are placing growing pressure on the Federation's water resources.
Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and increasingly unpredictable weather events are realities that small island developing states such as ours must now confront with urgency and determination. And I'm pleased to say this is why we came up with our vision, a sustainable island state, in an effort to make sure we are proactive in dealing with these phenomena. The results has been a substantial reduction in rainfall, Madam Speaker, and the natural replenishment of our water resources. Wells, aquifers, and other water sources have come under tremendous pressure.
The Prime Minister said the current conditions reinforce the importance of the government's Sustainable Island State agenda and its focus on building climate resilience. While acknowledging the frustration being experienced by households, businesses, and communities, he insisted the government has been acting since taking office in 2022 to strengthen water security.
This government, however, does not minimize those concerns. These are serious concerns. We recognize them, and we are responding to them with seriousness and resolve. Even before this would have been the reality, we have been championing a response, a proactive response, since we took office. The Ministry's responsibility for climate action has been at the forefront as well.
Those investments include well drilling, new pipelines, pumping systems, and the construction of a major desalination plant. The government's stated objective is to build a modern, resilient, and sustainable water system capable of providing reliable access to water across the Federation. In other news, an official funeral was held for cultural icon Elston King Elimat Nero as mourners gathered to honor one of the most influential figures in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis's music. This ceremony recognized the extraordinary contributions of the late Calypsonian, band leader, songwriter, and cultural ambassador who helped carry the music of St. Kitts and Nevis to audiences around the world. The funeral procession moved through the streets of Bastille before arriving at the Newtown playing field for the service. King Elimat was a 10-time National Calypso Monarch, a 7-time Radio Monarch Road Match winner, and founder of the legendary Elimat and the ZIZ Brass. His patriotic classics, including I Love St. Kitts, Viva St. Kitts, became enduring symbols of national pride. During the service, his nephew Lenny Lake thanked those who gathered to honor a man widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in the Federation's cultural history.
On behalf of the family, we warmly welcome you and sincerely thank you for joining us today as we celebrate a life, a legacy of a true son of the soil, a musical icon, a cultural ambassador, and a beloved friend to many, our own King Elimat.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, praised Elimat for being much more than just a Calypsonian.
We are here in our numbers today on display field and virtually across St. Kitts and Nevis, the region, and the world. We are here to give our love and respect not only to a man, but a movement that he led. And notice I say a movement, because a man has left us, but a movement that he helped to establish remains with us.
The Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. We now take a look at regional news. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has publicly challenged the Director of Public Prosecutions over comments about accountability and transparency. The dispute follows remarks by DPP Clement Joseph that the Constitution does not require him to explain individual prosecutorial decisions to the public. Responding on social media, Prime Minister Brown questioned whether the DPP considers himself beyond the public accountability and warned that such a position could erode confidence in the justice system. The comments come amid criticism over the dismissal of 2 recent criminal cases by the DPP's office. Joseph defended his position, saying the Constitution grants his office broad prosecutorial discretion and that decisions can be challenged through the courts if they are unreasonable or unlawful. While acknowledging the importance of transparency, the DPP said certain matters must remain confidential and should not be disclosed for political purposes. The exchange has renewed debate in Antigua and Barbuda over the balance between prosecutorial independence and public accountability. And Barbados is reporting an increase in new syphilis infections, with health officials urging greater testing, treatment, and safer sexual practices. Figures from the Ministry of Health and Wellness show 156 new cases of syphilis were recorded in 2025, up from 107 the previous year. Public health officials say young adults between the ages of 20 and 29 accounted for the largest share of new infections, with men representing the majority of cases. The ministry also reported an increase in positive test results over the past 5 years, with the syphilis positivity rate reaching as high as 4.1%. Health authorities warn that untreated syphilis can cause serious long-term complications, including damage to the brain, heart, and other organs. Officials are encouraging sexually active persons, particularly those with new or multiple partners, to get tested regularly and seek prompt treatment if necessary. The ministry said it will continue to monitor trends and expand public education, testing and prevention efforts across Barbados. Around 1 million young people across the United Kingdom will be offered a meningitis B vaccine following the country's largest recorded outbreak of the disease. Health officials say the one-off vaccination program is being introduced after a major outbreak in Kent and 2 additional clusters of cases in Dorset and Berkshire. The campaign will target school leavers and young adults preparing to enter university or residential further education, groups considered to be at higher risk of infection. Meningitis B can cause life-threatening illness and spreads through close contact, including shared accommodation and social interaction. Officials said the program will help protect those most at risk as thousands of young people prepare to begin a new academic year. The 2-dose vaccine will be offered across England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland through slightly different delivery programs. Health authorities are also encouraging eligible international students to receive their first dose before arriving to begin their studies. And South Korea's ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol has been sentenced to 30 years in prison after a court found he deliberately sought to provoke a crisis with North Korea to justify declaring martial law. The Seoul Central District Court convicted Yoon and former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun of abusing their authority and acting in a manner that benefited an adversary. Prosecutors alleged the pair ordered drone flights over Pyongyang in 2024, hoping to heighten tensions and trigger a response from the North. The court ruled those actions exposed South Korea's military capabilities and risk escalating conflict across the region. This is not Yoon's first conviction. He is already serving a life sentence following a separate rebellion case tied to his short-lived imposition of martial law in December 2024. Yoon's lawyers have filed an appeal. Now turning to the weather forecast. Today's high will reach 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit, while the overnight low is expected to fall to 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Relatively dry and stable conditions continue across the Leeward Islands and the British Virgin Islands. We can expect partly cloudy to hazy skies today with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Similar conditions are expected tonight with partly cloudy and hazy skies and a 20% chance of a brief shower. Winds will be from the east-southeast at 13 to 26 kilometers per hour or 8 to 16 miles per hour. Seas will range between 1.2 and 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. Sunset today will be at around 6:45, while sunrise tomorrow will be at around 5:35. And that brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas.